Good afternoon. The title of my presentation is a bit provocative. The modern electronic dictionary that always provides answer. It was actually proposed by the first author of this presentation, Deksne, who didn't manage to come, unfortunately. But the idea here is that we, in our paper and also in this presentation, concentrate on user needs, and the main need of user is to get answer as, in many cases, as possible. So, and in my presentation, I will concentrate on three different aspects: on content, how to be provided and displayed to the user; on availability on different platforms. Everybody has now mobile phones, mobile devices, and still have also desktop computers. And the third aspect is language technologies. How we can use language technologies to provide answer in as many cases as possible. And to illustrate this idea, I draw these triangles showing that usually when you use paper dictionaries, you need to flip through the pages to find word you are looking for and read meaning or translation of the word. In the basic facility of every electronic dictionary is just typing the word and finding translation or explanation of the word you are looking for. However, different research papers write that even if the dictionary entry is in a dictionary, user couldn't find it in many cases, and there are several reasons. The simplest one is just spelling errors users are making. Another issue could be a lexical item. For instance, in Latvian, in many cases, dictionary has very names, not in singular form, but in plural form. And if a user enters in a form in singular, he will not find if there are no additional technologies that help user to find this solution. Therefore, I put on the top of triangle language technologies, because with help of language technologies, a user can find not only direct matches in dictionary, but also answers which are not directly included into dictionary. So what we propose and what I'm going to tell you during this presentation is our dictionary software called Tildes Dictionary Browser. And the aim of this software is actually to provide useful information in as many cases as it possible. So, some basic or main features of Tildes Dictionary Browser. First of all, it concerns content. So it's not just single dictionary, it's consolidated information from different sources and different dictionaries. It's not only dictionaries which you have locally installed in your computer, it's also taking information from the web in case of terminology dictionaries, for instance. This on content. From language technology side, there are also such facilities as spelling corrections, text-to-speech facilities, and some other features. And finally, if there is no solution in dictionary, you can use machine translation, and it can provide answer to your question or to your query. Let's start with content. As I said before, our dictionary browser displays entries from different sources. And actually, one dictionary entry is a combination of different sources, different bilingual translation dictionaries, terminology dictionaries, explanatory dictionaries, also thesauruses and other sources. And as all of you know, dictionaries, printed dictionaries come in very many different formats, and we need to deal with this problem when we compile dictionary entry. On the screen you can see three samples. This one is Estonian German dictionary. Here is head word and then translation and some grammatical information. Then there is very simple dictionary. It's a dictionary of culinary terms, where are just translations in 3 languages. And the final one is Lithuanian English translation dictionary with very rich information in dictionary. And what we want to have common format for presenting, and therefore when we do processing of our dictionaries, we've converted in XML format, as I think many of you do. We use one title word, which is a lexical entry, and it could be followed by the different informations. And in paper, you have much more longer XML representation. It was shortened just for presentation purposes, but it always has some translations, and of course, it's organized according to the meanings. There could be also some examples, idioms, part of speech information, or other information which is in printed dictionary. And here you can see how the XML format is transformed into dictionary entry for user in our browser. So this title goes here, and then the first meaning is here, and the second one is here. And it could be much more if it's in dictionary. As I said before, it's not just translation dictionaries. There are also terminology dictionaries, and in case of terminology dictionaries, we combine two different sources. Some dictionaries are also on computer of the user, as in case you can see on the screen. And another ones are linked through the internet in the same form as dictionaries which are on user computer, and it looks as you can see now on the screen. We use your term bank as external resource, which is linked in our dictionary software. As you can see, it contains more than 2.5 million terms in many languages. And your term bank is also not just single resource. It's again linked to other resources like Yate and Microsoft Termbase, and then it's consolidated into our dictionary browser. And there is a difference between how we treat translation dictionaries and how we treat terminology dictionaries. In case of terminology dictionaries, we are not merging entry into one big one, but we keep this concept-based principle that each entry has displayed separately. As you can see here, this customs domain, there is economics domain, and museums domain. That's a basic about how dictionary content is merged. Now about language technologies. What is the added value of language technologies in our solution? So I already mentioned that we use different techniques such as spelling checker, morphological analyzer, and even machine translation facilities. If we speak about spelling checker, of course everybody can make mistakes, but two typical cases are foreigners or language learners who don't know language so good that he or she thinks that there is the word have to be in such form written, but in reality it differs. Another case is case of Latvian or also Lithuanian, that we have a lot of diacritics, and it's a real problem for non-Latvians, for instance. They don't feel very well about cases when you need long vowels. For instance, there is I wrote zīme, which is not is incorrect word in Latvian, and correct word is zīme. And in such case, our spelling checker integrated in our browser suggests this correct word for translation, so a user can get answer in case he wrote the word in incorrect way. Another problem is morphology-rich languages as Latvian or Estonian, and there are two cases again. The first case is just that many words are ambiguous. For instance, Latvian word mai I have on screen. It means house, and dictionary provides translation for this word. However, Maya is also passed from verb mat, which means wave. So, and in case a user don't know it, dictionary also says, maybe you are interested to find translation for word mat, because it's past form for this verb. So this is also a possibility for user to find the right answer. Finally, like in many languages, Latvian has some irregular words. For instance, gāju is a past form for a verb to walk, eat. And if user enters gāju and wants to find translation, then a dictionary again says, well, there is no such word in our dictionary. However, gāju is the base form for the verb eat, and it provides translation for this word eat, verb eat on the screen. Finally, when we wrote paper, we wrote that it's a task for the future to integrate also samples from corpora. Already now we did it, so therefore I'm presenting it today. So user can also see samples from corpora in dictionary. For instance, there was presentation about new meanings of the word. In one case is this word pele, in English mouse, which has two meanings, animal and technological device. And browsing through the samples from corpora, you can distinguish these meanings better. And finally, if there are no any answers from dictionary, you can just type in this dictionary browser also your word or sentence or text fragment and get it translated by machine translation. Of course, we indicate that it's machine translated text, so users have to know that it's not so reliable as a dictionary entry. And last one is text-to-speech facility. So there is microphone, and you can just listen text or lexical entry you want. Few words, I'm running out of time, about different media. Maybe at the beginning, there was question by reviewers what we actually have what content we have in our browser. And currently it's mostly for Baltic languages, Lithuanian and Latvian. So there are 90 translation directions from Latvian into English, French, German, and Russian, and the same for Lithuanian. However, we also have Latvian, Lithuanian, Lithuanian-Latvian, and Estonian-Latvian dictionaries in our browser. And we are not developers of content. We are licensing it from authors and lexicographers. So I said that if user want to find answer always, he needs to have this dictionary on all devices he has. So therefore, our dictionary browser works on desktop computers, and there is again the screenshot. So it's again consolidated result from different sources like translation dictionary, terminology dictionary, and so on. Another possibility to use our dictionaries is through the web portal called Letonica LV, and it's actually the same content and rather is similar presentation. Finally, we also provide our dictionaries on mobile phones, and in this case we think about user. User can't have so rich content on a mobile device because it's just too small for it. Therefore, we limit translations on mobile devices to the most importance from our viewpoint. So, conclusions and tasks for future. As all of you know, work on dictionaries is a never-ending process. Therefore, we see two main directions. The first is to provide more functionality for the user, and the second is more new content. And for this, we continue work with authors of dictionaries. We provide them with corpora data, and they look through and investigate what of new words which are coming in the language are interesting and needed to be added to dictionary, which actually means that there was also a comment from your reviewers. Is it really necessary to do all these things, and why we need to do all this? Electronic dictionary is always has more content as any printed dictionary because, it's more updated every time. Thank you.
Where's the microphone? Any questions? Coming around this way.
I have two technical questions. One is about the corpus. Is the corpus stored locally for offline work? And what is the size of the corpus that you use for providing concordances?
As far as I know, corpus is not locally stored.
So it's the concordance lines are downloaded from your server, yes? And the second question concerns the web page. Is the content provided for free, or is there any subscription?
It depends on dictionary. For Latvian, Lithuanian, Latvian, Estonian, it's free. For some language pairs, it's not free. Depends on, also, your term bank is free, of course. I didn't mention that separate can be accessible as separate resource also.
So, is there any subscription scheme, or how do you do?
It's for Letonica there is subscriptions. Actually, it's subscribed by almost all libraries in Latvia. So, because it's part of a more bigger information portal, it also includes encyclopedia and other stuff.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.